Hello and welcome to this week's RubyShoes podcast, bringing you the very best of local entertainment across East Anglia each and every week. Did you get caught out by any April Fool's jokes? I thought I'd include a small clip of some of the RubyShoes outtakes, as today's episode is not only on April the 1st, but it also marks our 30th anniversary. Yes, it's the 30th episode of RubyShoes, and that's all down to your support by following us at RubyShoes Podcast and also listening and sharing our episodes with fellow theatre lovers. So thank you for all your support. It really does mean a lot to us. Now, earlier I had a chat with the artistic director who's responsible for bringing a truly unique piece of live performance to the Wolsey Theatre this coming week. And then next on the RubyShoes podcast, we're talking to the stars of a Panto for grown-ups, coming to Felixstowe next month. Plus, as always, we've got some of the great live entertainment coming to a theatre near you. Now for the RubyShoes podcast, prepare to be spellbound as Scratchworks Theatre Company brings HAGs, a magical extravaganza, to the new Wolsey Theatre in Ipswich on the 5th and the 6th of April. This enchanting production, they say, promises to captivate audiences with its mesmerising blend of magic, comedy and live music, while unravelling a chilling piece of history. Sian Keane is co-artistic director for Scratchworks and she joins us now. Sian, thank you so much. Tell us more. This sounds fascinating.
Thank you for having me, Stephanie. So HAGs tells the story of the last 3 women to be hanged for witchcraft in the UK. It's a very local story to us down in Exeter. It happened just around the corner in Bideford. But the stories of witch trials are prevalent across the UK. So we're really super excited to be bringing it to the new Wolsey. And we incorporate a lot of live magic in there because we want to explore also the parallels with women in the magic industry as well. So we're using that as an exciting theatrical tool to tell these women's stories.
Oh, now that's really clever. That's unexpected. So there's going to be live magic in this show as well as telling the tale about these poor 3 unfortunate women.
Yeah, so we learned magic for the show. We worked with a brilliant magician, theatre maker called Peter Clifford, who has worked with the likes of Derren Brown and David Blaine. And he worked with us to look at how we can use it as a storytelling tool. So it's really embedded in the women's stories and kind of explores that. Oh, are they magical? Are they not? Just to give that little added layer, I think, to the women in magic industry. Also, in a lot of the work that we do, we love to find an unusual skill and explore how that can be an interesting storytelling device in the way that we make our work.
Just tell us a bit more about Scratchworks itself, the theatre company, Sian, because it's quite an unusual theatre company, isn't it? In that it's very much showcasing women.
Yeah, so Scratchworks Theatre Company is made up of me and 2 other women, Alice and Laura. We are a female-led theatre company who write and devise all our own shows with different collaborators. So we've been making work for the last 10 or so years with all of our work having a feminist ethos, but we are telling stories that are universal and I think has an element of truth for everyone. So it's really important that loads of people engage with our work and find something relatable for them in it. We also do a lot of audience interaction in our work, which always makes the live shows very fun. The magic element in this is obviously very interactive, but it's so important that our audiences are put front and center with our work and with the stories we tell. So that's always a very exciting element every show we do.
It sounds, I'm really looking forward to it coming to the Wolsey. It's going to be amazing at the beginning of April, as I said earlier in the introduction. awful for these women. As you said, they were the three women who were accused of witchcraft and tried and hanged. I mean, it's a true story. And here in Suffolk, we have a lot of history with the Witchfinder General, of course, in this area
Yeah.
as well. So I think it's going to be fascinating for the audiences to hear a true story, but told in a way that's is really entertaining, but also interesting and exciting, as you say, because of the element of magic in there as well. What was the kind of catalyst that started the whole process for this particular piece of theatre, Hags?
So we've kind of known about the historical story of the last three women. There's a plaque that's up in Rougemont Gardens in Exeter, which is just around the corner from us. And we actually had another theatre maker come to us and said, I've been reading about this story. I actually really think you guys should take it on and have a look at it. Because us being three women and the three women in the story. And we just started doing our research. And it's really fascinating how a lot of what is recorded is from the perspective of everything that happens to them rather than hearing accounts of them. And it was really important for us to give an opportunity to voice these women and their experiences. I also think we found a lot of parallels to the way they were treated to how women in modern society are still treated, and how people in general are outcast for being a bit different or being outside of societal norms. So we really tried to explore those themes in it and give a voice to those women. Because it's hard to hear their voice coming through in historical documents.
I think they'd be very proud and delighted that finally, their side of the story is actually coming to light. Sian, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. If you want to get tickets for this, it's at the New Wolsey Theatre. It's called Hags. It's Friday the 5th of April, 7:30 p.m. and Saturday the 6th of April, 2:30 p.m. And there's also a 7:30 p.m. performance there. And you can get tickets on the Wolsey's website, wolseytheatre.co.uk. Sian, all the very best of luck to you and the other two members of the cast. It's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Well done to you for bringing such a fantastic story to light in such an imaginative and interesting way.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll see you there.
Next is a show full of fun for the grown-ups coming to the Spa Pavilion Theatre. Cinderella is strictly for big boys and girls. I'm joined now for the RubyShoes podcast by Hollyoaks and Waterloo Road's Ben Ryan Davies and also Olivia Campbell Barr. And they're going to be coming to the Spa Pavilion Theatre in Felixstowe for Cinderella for adults only. So this is an adult pantomime. It's in its 6th year and it's basically for us grown-up boys and girls. And I'm so pleased that both of you join me. Liv, if I can start with you, ladies first. You're Suffolk based, aren't you? You come from Suffolk. Tell me more.
Yes, so I've grown up in Woodbridge. I've always been in Woodbridge. I've done a lot of amateur dramatics throughout Ipswich as well. That's kind of where it tends to be. So I've done a lot of things at the Wolsey Theatre in Ipswich, the Apex in Bury St Edmunds, and a couple of the bits at Ipswich Regent. But yeah, I've been in Woodbridge all my life really, and only kind of branched out to Brighton and things when I studied my degree. So yeah.
Fantastic. And this is your very first role. So tell me about the audition for this, because that must have been so exciting when you got the call to say you're in, and especially as Cinderella. So,
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a bit weird, to be honest, because a lot of the auditions now are self-tapes and things, which can be in your favour because, you can do as many takes as you want. But at the same time, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So I get very caught up on if I hear one thing that doesn't sound right, I have to scratch it and start again. So it was a bit frustrating. I got given this kind of brief, which was just to do a song and some script. And then you send it off and you usually don't kind of hear anything. And then the next week I got just given a song by my agent to sing, and I didn't know it was related to this at all. So then a few days later I got the call. I just got out of the shower and my agent called me and was like, I had my hair in a turban and everything. I was not ready. And he just said, do you want to be Cinderella?
Wow.
And I was like, what? Because I didn't even know I'd had a recall for it or anything. I don't really know what's going on. When you get all these kind of self-tapes and stuff in, you don't always keep track of what they're for, because to be honest, I wasn't expecting to hear back. And then, yeah, and I was a bit shocked. I said to Mum, never saw myself being a princess, to be honest, at 5'10" with my size 9 feet, but there we go. Dream come true. But yeah, it's great. It's an amazing first job. The cast are absolutely amazing, and it's really nice to do some comedy, because that's all I've wanted to do. So it's nice to get back into that again.
Yeah, and how lovely as well that you're coming back to Suffolk for one of the performances at the Spa Pavilion.
Yeah, it's like a little full circle moment. And I used to go to the Spa Pavilion as a kid to watch all different shows, but I've never actually performed there myself. So it'll be really nice to actually be behind the scenes.
Definitely. Now, Ben, I want to bring you into this because your background most recently is Hollyoaks and Waterloo Road. So you've taken a break from the pantomime and now you're back. So you're very much going to teach people like live the ropes, because you've done this before, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done it before, but I'm still absolutely clueless. Are you mad? I still don't have a clue what I'm doing. To be fair, I walk on stage every night, and because of the people that are around, it's different every night. So I might walk on stage one night, and I don't know what them lot are up to, but it's definitely not what's in the script.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Now you're Prince Charming, so you know all the ladies are going to love you. I'm guessing you've probably done adult panto and children's panto throughout your career anyway, which has sort of run alongside television. How different is it doing the adult panto?
Miles different, and especially being on tour as well, because like, you know, you get to Friday and you're like, right, get to go on stage tonight, and you know, it's a real treat at the end of the week to like be able to go up there and you know, and make people laugh and enjoy the night and stuff like that. In terms of kids pantos, usually where I am, we have like 60 odd shows back to back, 2 show days, so like, you know, it's a bit of a slog. But this one's really nice because, you know, you can come away for the week and then, you know, back into it Friday, Saturday night. It's a good fun show, and it's Friday, Saturday night, so everyone's really up for it, so it's great.
And it does promise plenty of audience participation and dancing in the aisles as well. Can you tell me more about that?
There's definitely audience participation, and the dancing in the aisles is probably better than the dancing I do on stage. So that's like, you know, I'm looking out there going, flipping out, they should be up here, not me. But it is what it is. 2 left feet. Liv will tell you. She knows.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. I've got the memory of a bloody goldfish, so I'm looking at him like, what's next?
We kind of drag each other around the stage and kind of make it look like it was meant to happen. Yeah.
That's the nice thing about Panto. Nobody actually knows, do they? The audience have no idea. And if things appear to be going wrong, quite often that's written into the script, so you never quite know. So you can get away with an awful lot, I imagine. A lot more on stage and in a Panto like that than you can on television. I would imagine the schedules are much less tough than they are when you're normally, you know, on television doing things like Waterloo Road and Hollyoaks as well, Ben.
Yeah, I think the big difference is like television stuff, you know, you're waiting around for ages. You know, I've heard actors say that, you know, you get paid for the waiting round, not for the acting, and that comes for free. With this stuff, you're on stage, people are enjoying it, you get an instant reaction from the audience, and then, you know, at the end, like, you get a round of applause and everything like that, and you can see, like, on people's faces how much of a good night they're having. You know, TV, you're kind of so far removed from it because, you know, you might have done it a year ago, and then you see it on TV and people are like, oh, that, you know, you were on telly last night. I was like, oh, what's that? Oh, what was I on? So, yeah, it's kind of like, it's different. And I love having that thing of going, turning up to a venue, and then we do the show. And I love, because we obviously we have to do the get outs, because a lot of the places roll in there one night. So I love the get out as well. And, you know, seeing the theatre when you walk in, it's got all our setting and everything, to see the theatre absolutely bare. It's a nice sort of thing to say, yeah, we've come here with, like, you know, like the guys have all put it up and everything, all the tech guys, and, you know, Rob and Liam, who, you know, produced the show, they've all been in, grafted, and then we're off to the next venue.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hard bit, isn't it? People don't see that. We just, you know, turn up and sit in our nice plush seats and see a 2-hour performance or whatever. But we don't see all the rehearsals, and, as you say, all of the touring around and the filling, you know, of all the vehicles with all the masses and masses of tech and stuff. So it's still quite hard work, isn't it? Even if it is a fun adult panto. It's coming to the Spa Pavilion on Thursday, the 23rd of May from 8 p.m, strictly 16 plus. If anyone's not been to an adult panto before, explain it for us, Liv. Explain what the difference is.
Well, they don't use innuendos. They just say it. They just go ahead and say it. And yeah, I wouldn't say it's for the easily offended. And they do say that in the little intro that plays before we start the show, just to give, well, just to set the mood, really. I mean, when I got the role, I was feeling quite nervous because I was a bit like, I'm so excited, but at the same time, I was like, what is this going to involve? And to be honest, it's just a massive laugh. It is so much fun. Every night is fresh. Like, they keep it different every night. So they do play on the audience. So we've been really lucky to have some great audiences that will just kind of shout things out, or like give the most random things when we kind of ask, like, how is everyone? And so it really is random. Each night we just play off the audience, and you'll kind of be standing there sticking to your script as much as you can, and then one of the cast will kind of chuck something in. And what I always found quite funny is if I've ever seen like a show or a kind of more adult kind of show, that when they start laughing on stage and when they've actually broken character, I always find that hilarious. Yeah. And now being part of that, you can hear the laughter just grow in the audience, and then you're just laughing together, and it's just the most amazing feeling. So it is definitely a bunch of laughs, and you'll be walking away laughing, really.
Definitely. I know I went along to see an adult Panto a few years ago, and there was one person there who brought a child with them. And they hadn't started at this point. And we were all nudging each other saying, I think they didn't read the poster. And thankfully they had a warning at the beginning. And I think they probably sat there for about 5 minutes and then got up and left. So strictly 16 plus, I'll just reiterate that. But if you're a grown up and you just love to have a good night out, then this is the one for you. Cinderella for adults only at the Spa Pavilion. Ben, before we let you go, what's coming next for you, either TV or stage wise?
Good question. Finish this tour, because we finish in June, so we're out for quite a while on this one. There's a lot of touring to be done, and then I'll look towards Christmas, kids Panto, and then go from there. Really, if not, I don't like to make plans because they might just change on you like that. So, and you were saying before, I'll just go back to what you were saying before. You say, oh, you can get away with a lot in adult Panto. You can't, because your mates on stage grass on you to the audience that you forgot your line. They know, they stand there and they're like, hang on a minute, I'm not letting you get away with that one. So yeah, they've had me a few times for that so far.
Oh, brilliant. And Liv, what about you? This is the first role that you've been cast since you graduated. What would be your ideal role?
Oh my God, I have no idea, to be honest. It is so hard auditioning nowadays. There's so much talent out there. I feel lucky to kind of get anything, really. I'm really open to everything. So I think that's what they taught us coming out as a graduate, is the best thing is to be open and just say yes to whatever kind of experience comes your way. So I'm very much kind of I feel very lucky for kind of taking this role on, and then I think I'll just see where it goes. I'm expecting to kind of be back auditioning from April time, hopefully, but it is really a waiting game, and I think I think I'll just wait and see what happens and go with the flow. It's tend how I roll, really.
Yeah, I'm sure both of you are going to have lots of fun, certainly with this tour, but also going forward. Lovely to talk to both of you for the RubyShoes podcast, and break a leg.
Thank you so much for having me.
As it's April Fool's Day, I did promise you some outtakes from previous RubyShoes podcasts where it doesn't always go quite to plan. This week, West End Magic comes to the Sheringham Little Theatre. This week, West End Magic comes to the Sheringham Little Theatre this coming Saturday the 23rd of March. It's London's longest running theatre magic show, and it comes direct from Leicester Square Theatre. I'll be talking to British champion of magic, Oliver Table, and he's joined on stage by compere We'll be featuring British champion of magic, Oliver Tabor. Then we talk to one of Suffolk's most famous people you've probably never heard of. Plus we have a roundup of some of the most exciting live shows on offer this week and around the region. Shoes. Plus, we have a roundup of some of the most exciting live shows on offer this week around the region. Don't you hate it when that happens? Plus, we have a roundup of some of the most exciting live shows on offer this week around the region.
What's on across Suffolk with Stephanie McIntyre. Sponsored by RubyShoes Podcast, your weekly entertainment news podcast. Available from your smart speaker, Apple, Spotify, or you just follow RubyShoes Podcast on Facebook and click on the weekly podcast link to listen.
There's a host of great shows on offer across Suffolk's magnificent theatres, and here's just a selection to tempt you. Thursday the 4th of April from 7:30pm at the Apex Theatre in Bury St Edmunds, you can enjoy the Cavern Beatles. On the 9th of February 1961, the Beatles made the first of their 292 appearances at the now legendary Cavern Club in Matthew Street in Liverpool. Scroll forward 60 years, the Cavern Beatles, a band fully endorsed and licensed by the same club, returned to the Apex in Bury St Edmunds with their remarkable show. The Cavern Beatles are one of the country's longest established tribute shows, able to recreate the incredible Beatles back catalogue and have fastidious accuracy, both musically and vocally. For more information, go to theapex.co.uk. Also on Thursday the 4th of April at 7:45 in Ipswich at the Regent Theatre, the BAFTA award-winning comedian Lee Francis will be coming to the Ipswich Regent Theatre for his first ever live tour, My First Time. Lee's characters and sketches have kept millions of people around the UK laughing for years. Now he's stepping out as himself on an 18-date tour around the country. Join Lee with his favourite characters, all brought to life in a live environment for the very first time ever. From Keith Lemon, Bear and Avid Merrion to David Dickinson, Anton Deck and Myrtle, this tour will be packed full of hilarious sketches with buckets of audience participation. So go to ipswichtheatres.co.uk for more information. Friday the 5th of April, and this time at the New Wolsey Theatre in Ipswich, it's the start of the run of HAGs, a magical extravaganza, presented by Scratchworks Theatre Company. Packed full of magic tricks, physical comedy and live music, in Bideford in 1682, the final witch trial in Britain took place. 3 women were accused of witchcraft, tried and hanged. Now fast forward to the present day and name one female magician. Pretty tricky. But tonight, all 3 fearless females are climbing out of their boxes, shaking off their sequins and investigating what really happened in a small town in North Devon over 300 years ago. HAGs is showing from Friday the 5th through to Saturday the 6th of April. Go to wolseytheatre.co.uk for more information. Also on Saturday the 6th of April at 7:30, it's your chance to enjoy Meatloaf by candlelight as it comes to Felixstowe Spa Pavilion. Join them for an incredible night of Meatloaf anthems, featuring a live cast of West End singers, including stars of the West End production of Bat Out of Hell, accompanied by an incredible live rock band. This concert will feature some of the most iconic songs of all time, including Anything for Love, Bat Out of Hell, 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad, and of course Dead Ringer for Love, and many, many more. Go to spapavilion.uk for more details. Now, if you have an event you'd like the RubyShoes podcast to feature, get in touch with us via our Facebook page at RubyShoes Podcast. You can always listen again to any of the RubyShoes podcasts via Apple or Spotify or your smart speaker, or just by simply clicking on the weekly podcast links on our Facebook page, and follow us too for all the latest entertainment news. I'm Steph McIntyre. Thanks for listening, and we'll chat more about live theatre and all kinds of entertainment in next week's episode. In the meantime, check out those socials at RubyShoes Podcast and have a great week.